Everyone, this is your subject physical education for class 11. Today we are going to start with the second chapter, which is Olympics value education, and this is your lecture number 1. So in this chapter we are going to study about how Olympics started, what are Paralympics, what is Special Olympic. We are also going to study about the different symbols, motto, values of Olympics and the two organizations of Olympic, which is IOC and IOA. So today we are going to start with 2.1, which is the very first subtopic in the book, which is Olympics, Paralympics and Special Olympics. Now, for a better understanding of what Olympics is all about, how it all started, we are going to study it under two different heads. One is your ancient Olympic Games and another one is your modern Olympic Games. So, when we talk about ancient Olympic Games, we don't have facts and figures, but yes, we do have a lot of stories about how it all started. So, we are going to do that in the subtopic. And the modern Olympic Games will have a lot of information you are going to gather about it. Going to start with ancient Olympic Games. So the very first question which arises is when and how did ancient Olympic Games begin? So how or what was the reason why people actually started celebrating or organizing these games and sports in the ancient time? So there is no authentic information or definite fact about their origin, but there are a lot of stories about the start of ancient Olympic Games, as we don't have all those facts or we don't have evidence about these stories of how ancient Olympics actually started, but still there are a lot of stories behind them, that how it actually started, what were all the reasons that people actually came together and started these games and sports. According to the available information in history, the first ancient Olympic Games started in Olympia Valley in 776 BC. So now we are going to discuss some of the stories which are behind the commencement or the organization of Ancient Olympic Games. The first one is, it is believed that the natives of Olympia, native means the people who used to live in Olympia, adored Jews as their god. So they used to pray him, they used to adore him, love him as their god. Once Jews appeared on the ground of Olympia, owing to this his fearful anger, the land split. So there was a day when he came to the ground, came to earth, and he was very angry, and because of his anger, the land actually split in pieces. Just to pacify Jews or calm him down, the people of Olympia made him a magnificent temple in the valley and started the tradition of offering sacrifices. So just to calm him down, just to pacify him, the people constructed a big temple for him and started giving sacrifices of animal there. After that, later on, Hercules, who was the son of Zeus, started games and sports in the honor of his father. Another story was about August, the king of Elis, gave the responsibility to clean the vast stables as a punishment to Hercules for his misdeeds. So there was this king who punished Hercules because of his wrong dones or because of his misdeeds. So Hercules also placed a condition before King August that if he completes the punishment as well as keep his promise, then King August will have to give him 10th part of his annual property. And obviously because king was happy with this condition, so he just thought okay, it's kind of fine, he agreed on that. So Hercules ultimately got succeeded and returning the floor to the Elphas river towards the stable, and automatically the stable became clean because of the water which ran over. So all the stables were clean and everything. But still the king did not keep his word. After that, Hercules killed King August and became the king. So because he got very angry that he did whatever was asked by the king, and still king did not keep his promise or was not up to his words. So that's why Hercules killed the king, and when he killed the king, he also became the king of that particular region. And after that, Hercules decided to pay penance for crime committed, and he organized Olympic Games for the first time. Next, another interesting tale or story is prevalent about the origin of Asian Olympic Games. The Greeks, the people of Greece, listened to it with keen interest. According to it, on the banks of Alpheus River, there was a well stabilized kingdom named Elis, the same kingdom. Hippodamia, the daughter of King Onimus, was extraordinarily beautiful. So the king's daughter was very beautiful. For her marriage, the king placed a condition. According to this condition, she was to be married to a person who would be able to kidnap her. So it was a kind of trap which was made by the king, that whosoever young guy or young king prince will come and kidnap my daughter, I'll marry my daughter to that particular person. So around 13 youth, one by one, tried to kidnap, but they actually failed in this kidnapping. All were murdered mercilessly by the king after, because they failed to kidnap his daughter. So the king mercilessly, without any mercy over them, he actually killed each and every one of them. After that, the youth named Pelops came from Elis. So there was this person, Pelops, who came from Elis, and he was very cunning and brave young man in comparison to others. So he was one of the strongest, and he was very smart and cunning, clever kind of a young person. He made a charioteer his intimate friend, and made him remove the axle from the chariot of the king before the beginning of the race. So there were these chariots in which the race was going to held, and in this particular race, what used to happen, that the person and the daughter used to sit in one chariot, and one the king will be sitting on. So what he did was, he made a friend of his, and asked him to loosen up the wheel, so that whenever the king is going to sit on that chariot will fall down, or the wheel will come off, and there will be an accident, and he will be like, he can easily run. So Pelops, along with Hippodamia, started running in chariot, as I said, and the king followed him in his chariot. When the king's chariot was about to reach chariot of Pelops, his chariot's wheel came off because it was obviously loose. Only was his chariot was broken. So not only the chariot was broken, but because of that pieces which came out of that broken chariot, he got hurt in his neck and was ultimately killed. The Pelops not only got Hippodamia, but also the kingdom. It is said that the commemorate of his dual successful started these games with religious rituals, because he won, not only won the girl, but he also won the whole kingdom. So just because he was very success, he got succeeded in some work, so he started these games and sports. The last story here is, according to another story, wrestling took between god Zeus and goddesses to assert their rights on this earth. This wrestling took place between Zeus and Kronos, in which Zeus became the winner, and to celebrate his victory, the games and sports were started. So all these kind of stories are behind the commencement of ancient Olympic Games. So whatever the reason behind the beginning of Olympic Games was, it is certain that these games were organized first time in a beautiful valley named Olympiad. That time these games were called Olympic Games. Asian Games continued for approximately 1,000 years. For like 1,000 years they were into existence, but in 394 CE the king of Rome stopped these games. So there was this king who actually stopped all these games, and he also destroyed all the arenas and stadiums which were made. But even after the memory of this game remained in the heart of the natives. So but even after like they were stopped and there was no games and sports anymore, but still all those memories were in the people of that place. They could not forget these games even after many centuries, and nobody can actually forget these games and sports. So now we are going to discuss the rules for competitors which were given in Asian Olympics. When the Olympic Games were organized in 776 BC, certain rules were framed for competitors in which various sports competitions which were engraved on a bronze plate. So all these rules were engraved on a bronze plate, and the rules are: competitors must only be a Greek completely, from a Hellenic race, and must be physically fit. So one must be from Greece, and especially the Hellenic race, and he must be physically fit. Savages and punished person were not allowed to participate in these games. So savages are the person who are brutal, vicious people. They were not allowed to participate. The competitor had to stay in Olympia for 1 month before the beginning of the Olympic Games. They had to take an oath that they had already taken the training for 10 months in their state. So they used to come from different states, and but before the commencement or before the starting of the game, they used to come like a 1 month before the starting of the game, and they need to take this oath that yes, they were practicing for like 10 months in their own states, and then they came here a month early. Women were not allowed to participate in competition or see this game. So at that time, women were not allowed to do anything, and they were not allowed to go to the stadiums or the arenas, playing arenas. They were also not allowed to not only just to participate, but also they were not allowed to be a spectator or be the audience for these games. Second, the next is for participation in games, participant had to practice for 1 month in the same area or the place Olympia. Six, only amateur sports person could participate in these games and not the professional. Amateurs are the people those who don't get any sponsorship or money for playing. So these people were allowed to participate, but those who used to get money for playing and everything, they were not allowed to participate in such games and sports. We are going to talk about the opening ceremony of these games. On the day of the opening ceremony, all the players, their brother, fathers, and trainer used to assemble in the auditorium. So, on the very first day of the commencement or the day of start of these games, all the players used to assemble in the auditorium with their brothers, their father pitchers, and their trainers. So all the male spectators or the male audience used to come and assemble in the auditorium. The expert of sports and games made them to take the oath that they would participate in the games according to the rules, and they had got training in of 10 months. So as we have already discussed it, that these were the rules that every individual, those who wants to participate in the games and sports, need to have a 10 months prior training. After that, a pig was killed and offered to the god named Zeus. So again, then a pig or an animal was killed and sacrificed in the name of God. After this ritual, players used to come one by one in front of the spectators, and if any of the spectator had any objection against any player, that player was not allowed to participate. So it was very simple that each and every player used to come in front in the center of the auditorium, and then the spectators used to judge them. If any of the spectator or the audience had any problem or any objection against any of the player, that player was not allowed to participate in the further competitions. Now the next is awards. So less attention was paid to awards in the ancient Olympic Games. Their food grains and animals were given as reward. So basically there was no attention or no priority was given to the sports, for example the medals, certificates and all that stuff. But yes, food grains crowns of made of olive leaves, animals, kettles especially were given as reward or the award. After that, a crown made of olive leaves was given to the winners, as you can see from in that picture also. More stress was laid on respect and honor instead of awards to the player in these games. So the main purpose of organizing this game and then rewarding was that the individual who wins gets the respect and honor of the whole area of that whole particular place. So more stress was given on the honor and the respect of the winner instead of materialistic things. Statues were also made of the winners. Poems were also composed in praises of winners, and their name were recorded in the annals of history. So there were people those who used to make these statues of the winners. Then the poems were made. So all these things were done just to give honor and respect to the winners. Even the players used to participate in these games for respect and honor and not for the sake of awards. And even it's not just the organizer but also the participants used to come there just for the sake of getting respect and honor instead of just coming for the sake of awards. Now we are going to start with the modern Olympic Games. The credit to start the modern Olympic game goes to Paris-Baron de Coubertin of France. So here's the picture also I have given you. So Baron de Coubertin was the person who actually started modern Olympic Games. As earlier I said that there was a king who actually stopped everything and destroyed the grounds and the stadiums. And after several years, he decided to start Olympic Games all again. So just an introduction of Coubertin. He was born in Paris on 1st January 1962. His family members wanted him to join army, so he joined the Sainik Academy. But after some time he left it and started studying political science. Having studied the political science, he came to know about the national and international problems. So that time there was a lot of problem, there was a lot of discrimination, racism. There was a lot of problems. There were no good links between connections between different nations. There were no good rules and regulations within the nation. So he just thought that if games and sports will be organized and each and every individual from different nations, different caste, creeds will come together and talk and participate in the similar and the same game, then he or anyone would might have see a change in the national and international problems, or those problems can be solved. So it was Coubertin's dream to restart the Asian Olympic Games at the world level. For this purpose, he called a meeting of various countries in 1863. Some countries like Italy, Greece, France and Sweden were in favor of commencing or starting these games, whereas rest of the countries opposed it. So these four countries were there who were in favor that yes, all these games or Olympic games should be restarted, but other countries opposed it. So again on 16th June 1894, a meeting of 13 countries were held in Paris in which 75 representatives participated. It was presided over by Coubertin, and it was resolved that sports competition should be held every fourth year on the lines of Greek Olympic Games, and every nation should be invited to participate. So in that meeting which was held in 1894 again, that it was made or planned that yes, these games will be restarted again and on the same basis and the same guidelines or the same rules as we were having in Greek Olympic Games, and these games will be organized in every 4 years. So after much endeavor, Coubertin succeeded in enlisting worldwide support, and the first modern Olympic Games were held in Athens in 1896. So please do underline and learn this thing, that the first modern Olympics was held in Athens in 1896. In 1896, Athens Olympic Games, the first modern Olympic Games, only 9 countries participated. So out of those 13 countries, those who were all in the meeting, out of those, only 9 countries were there who participated. This number gradually increased, and in 1972, around some 70 years or some 80 years, Munich Olympic Games, 122 countries participated. 3 Olympic Games could not be held during 2 world wars. And for that I will be giving you the table also, so you can see when and at what time, at what place Olympic Games were held. Olympic motto. Olympic motto comprises 3 Latin words, Citius, Altius, Fortius, which means faster, higher, stronger respectively. Means Citius means faster, Altius means higher, Fortius means stronger. And why it is the motto of Olympic Games? Because we need to show all of our strengths while we participate in games and sports. We need to be faster when we are talking about races. We need to be higher when we are talking about high jumps, pole vault. We need to be stronger when we are talking about the throws like hammer throw, shot put, javelin, discus throw. So the motto in itself gives you the meaning of how strengthful one should be to participate in games and sports, and how we want each and everyone to be the best. The motto was coined by the French educator Father Didion in 1895. So now we are going to talk about Olympic flag. Olympic flag was created in 1913 at the suggestions of Baron de Coubertin. It was first solemnly inaugurated in Paris in June 1949, but it was hosted for the first time in the Olympic Stadium at the Antwerp Olympic Games, which were held in 1920. Olympic flag is made of white silk and contains 5 interlocking rings or circles in 5 colors representing 5 continents of the world: America, Europe, Australia, Asia and Africa. The 5 rings here in the picture, you can see that there are 5 rings. These are interlinked with each other and they represent different continents. No continent is related to any color. It's just random colors and the random continents are there. So color is, you can see, blue, yellow, black, green and red. The 5 rings have different colors. As I said, the interlocking of rings or the circles symbolizes cooperation and friendship. Olympic flag is the symbol of knowledge, life and happiness. It also symbolizes peacefulness. So it is, the flag just symbolizes knowledge of life and happiness and peace, and these interlinked finger or interlocking rings symbolizes that there is this cooperation and friendship among different nations and different continents. Olympic flame or torch is light and or kindled in Olympic village of Greece, and it is carried by the runners to the place where the Olympic Games were going to be organized. So whichever country is organizing Olympic Games, the flame was kindled in Greece itself, and from there runners used to bring the kindled flame, Olympic flame, from that place to the particular hosting country. During this process it keeps burning. At the end of the closing ceremony at these games, the flame is extinguished. So from Greece till the day the closing ceremony is there, continuously the flame is lit. Now the Olympic awards. The first, second and third position holders are awarded with gold, silver and bronze medals and certificate respectively. The next 5 position holders are also awarded with certificates only. So first, second and third used to get gold, silver and bronze as it is given to in each and every competition which is held. And the next 5 means 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. These 5 position holders also used to get certificates. Now the Olympic oath. During the opening of Olympic Games, oath-taking ceremony is held by the athletes who assemble in the sports stadium. Representative of the host country comes forward holding the flag. The flag bearer of the competing nations also take up their positions. The representative takes oath on the behalf of all the athletes who raised their right arm and repeat the oath after him or her. And the oath is, we promise to take part in these Olympic Games, respecting and abiding by the rules and in the spirit of fair play. We all commit ourselves to sports without doping and cheating. We do this for the glory of sports and for the honor of our teams and in respect for the fundamental principle of Olympism. Now the rules for the competitors. All males and females can participate in Olympic Games if they are amateur. But now professionals are also allowed to participate in some of the sports. These sports persons are sent by the National Olympic Committee. Each and every country have their own National Olympic Committee. No sports person can participate in these games without the approval as well as recommendation of National Olympic Committee. Now the opening ceremony of Olympic Games. First of all, Olympic torch or flame is lit through sun rays of Olympic village Greece, and it is brought to that city where the Olympic Games are going to be held. The president or prime minister declares the games open in the stadium. Before this process of all the sportsperson take part in the march past and then they take oath. Later on, recreational and cultural programs are also organized. Olympic flag is hoisted and Olympic flame of the stadium is kindled by the torch. Now the closing ceremony of Olympic Games. Sportsperson from all over the country assemble in the stadium for closing ceremony. The mayor of that city and the president of the managing committee escorts the president of the International Olympic Committee to the stadium. Here he declares the game was closed. After that, Olympic flag is lowered and it is given to the mayor of the city. Various cultural programs are organized. The Olympic game flame is extinguished. At last, the games come to the end of the Olympic song. Now the homework for you all. Question number 1. Write a short note on the Olympic flag. Discuss about the closing ceremony of modern Olympic Games. Question number 3. Briefly explain about the awards of ancient Olympic Games. And question number 4 is briefly explain the Olympic oath. So in the Olympic oath, you don't have to write word to word what is there in the oath. You just have to bring out the meaning and write it down. This is the end of your lecture. Thank you.